This video is going to explain to you how hypnosis works. Hypnosis, lots of people ask me, can I make them bark like a dog or cluck like a chicken? Well, hypnosis can do that. It really can. However, hypnosis used in therapy is called hypnotherapy for a good reason. Hypnosis, which is just for fun and used on stage, is really about entertainment. And they are very, very different. They're like chalk and cheese. Hypnosis that's used for entertainment is really about having fun at the person who's being hypnotized expense, but always with their permission. For example, you can never be made to do anything that is really against your moral beliefs or values. So I couldn't ask you to go and rob a bank unless you were a bank robber. Maybe I could then. I couldn't ask you to strip off and run down the street shouting and wailing unless you were the sort of person that wanted to do that anyway. So that's hypnosis. Hypnotherapy is where we use focused relaxation to get your unconscious mind, the bit that's responsible for programming how and what you do, to work more efficiently. Because there are two aspects to our brains from a thinking point of view: your conscious and your unconscious minds. Your conscious mind is your awake thinking mind. This is the sort of time that you're actually thinking about something and engaging your concentration in. Your unconscious mind is responsible for everything else, which is the running of the systems in the background, like your breathing, your heartbeat, your blood flow, cell reproduction, all those sorts of things. But it's also important when it comes to learning and automating things, when you're doing things out of habit. So for example, when you open a door, most people just automatically know that a handle will open a door and they'll try and push or pull. Most people going into a room who see a chair know what a chair is and sit down. They don't consciously have to think about it because the brain has automated, knowing, generally speaking, something of this sort of shape is going to do this sort of thing. This is also interesting when it comes to smoking, for example, or anything that's habitual that you're trying to stop. If you do the same thing over and over and over, let's say you did something brand new, but you did that same thing every day for at least 4 weeks, that thing would become a habit. I'll give you an example. When I was very young, I was at school, I was in a home economics class, and we were all cooking something. We were cooking apple crumble, I think, and we weren't allowed to wear any jewellery, not that children wore much jewellery, in those days, but anyway, we weren't allowed to wear rings or watches because of hygiene. And I was partaking in the lesson, and at the end, when it came time to take out the apple crumble, I put my hand in the oven and I burnt my wrist. That was very irritating for a few weeks, and this was the arm I always used to wear my watch, but of course I couldn't because of the burn. So I then suddenly started wearing my watch just while this burn was there on the other hand. Well, it took about 6 weeks for this burn to completely heal up. 100 years later, because I'm very old, I now wear this watch on this wrist purely out of habit. I never think about it, it just automatically happens. Hypnosis is really about getting to that part of your brain, the unconscious part of your brain that automates things, to gain permission with that part of your brain to start working in a different way, to get new habits to be formed or new beliefs to take place to enable you to do things that you weren't able to do before. It's not sleep. You'll never fast asleep. It's just a focused relaxation. Another way of explaining hypnosis is to say to you, actually, you are probably experiencing hypnosis on a daily basis yourself, naturally, without even realising it. For example, if you drive and you're driving along and it's raining and you've got your windscreen wipers on and it stops raining, chatting away, listening to radio or something, you're actually not aware that you might not have turned your wipers off straight away until you can hear that, and then you suddenly realise that the wipers are still on, and you think, oh crikey, I've forgotten. Or the last 5 minutes of a journey that you've forgotten all about, you think, crikey, I didn't realise I was here already. Those are both good examples of hypnosis, where you're just in a trance. Your mind has just automatically done something completely safely, but consciously your mind was elsewhere. That's another really good example of what hypnosis is and what it feels like. What I do is to help people to use hypnosis to focus on their own relaxation, and with permission access the parts of your brains that just need a little tweak here, there and anywhere, and to establish the new desired outcome as quickly as possible. And sometimes that can just take one session, and sometimes it takes a few. It really does depend on what the issue is. But if you look at some of the other videos, we'll talk about depression, anxiety and phobias, and that will go into a bit more depth about the different layers of emotions that can be involved. But I hope that you've enjoyed understanding what my involvement with hypnosis is, and see the rest of the website.